Hi, today I'm going to talk about ADHD. This is video number 2 and relating it to the autonomic nervous system and how it triggers our nervous system to get out of balance in an unhealthy way. So I talked in video number 1 about ADHD, how something might have happened when we were younger. It may be an accumulation of things in life where it was just too much to deal with, and the subconscious mind basically was protecting us, and it was distracting us away from these uncomfortable feelings, basically away from our body, what's going on in the present moment and how we relate to it. And it creates these coping mechanisms of distraction and forgetting and keeping our attention away from everything, focusing on everything else but what's going on in the immediate moment. Because perhaps at one point in time, what was going on in the immediate moment, it was just too much to take. And that is actually how the subconscious mind works, where it protects us and it creates a program to keep us from what's going on in the moment and distract us away from it with our attention, so we're not feeling the emotions of what's going on, because it's just too much to take in the moment. This can happen from a lot of things, traumatic events, and it could happen from just really growing up, maybe being bullied and stuff, feeling uncomfortable, maybe being pushed to do things too much and we just don't feel we're capable of doing it. It can be from not being supported through what we're feeling in our emotions growing up, or perhaps we're not supported in expressing who we really are, and we're kind of expected to meet this unrealistic standard. And all these things kind of trigger us to try and be something that we're not, avoid what's going on, and that can lead to ADHD, where we're really having trouble focusing in the moment. We can become very hypervigilant in avoiding in the moment, and just everything distracts us, and we can't even have a conversation without noticing noises and things and movement going on around us, everything but what's going on right here with the person we're talking to, perhaps. So how does this relate to our nervous system? Well, the thing of it is, when we're avoiding everything that's going on in the moment, we're always distracted. We're actually distracted away from the here and now of what we're feeling. And where does that go? Emotions that are left unprocessed, they're kind of stuck within us, okay? So what processes emotion is experiencing the feeling, sensations of the emotion, of the feeling, and we're able to then be with it, and that processes it, and that's how it releases and moves through us, through our experience of it. But if we're avoiding it, we're not experiencing it. We're actually distracted from it. We're avoiding what we feel relative to the situation that's going on that we're avoiding, so we don't feel what the result is of the emotion of what we're feeling, or of the experience. So this avoidance, what happens is it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and something happens and it becomes more overwhelming, because the result of all the years or time of not experiencing, processing what we're feeling, it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and it becomes overwhelming when things happen. One, because we're not used to being with what we feel and processing emotions, so it becomes too hard to be able to deal with little bits of emotion when things get overwhelming. But two, it's like we're stuffing down all this emotion, and it's getting kind of stockpiled within us, and then when something happens, it all blows up all at once and it becomes too much. But our subconscious mind, it considers that a threat, because there's this overwhelmment going on all the time. We're avoiding what's going on. That tells the subconscious there must be a threat, because if there wasn't a threat, if it wasn't dangerous what was going on, if it wasn't threatening, we'd be able to be with it with our full attention. We'd be able to focus on it. So by not focusing, now these things that started off as protection mechanisms, they kind of turn back on us, and they actually turn into something that creates more fight or flight. Because we're telling our subconscious, whenever we're distracted, whenever we're avoiding things, that there's danger, because we need to avoid it. So it tells the subconscious, oh, danger. So it triggers more of the same, this snowball effect. And that which we don't process, it builds up and it starts turning into coming out negatively in thoughts and our perceptions of how we look at things, and our emotions start getting heavier, and it's harder to deal with stuff or know what we're feeling with things, so we just avoid it more. So this buildup becomes an internal thread of unresolved feelings and emotions, and now this actually becomes a real internal threat. So it triggers our sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, and it triggers that more and more and more, and we can become more on edge, really looking and around, avoiding on a subconscious level the threat that's going on, but really it's internally. We really need to be with what we feel and start to get present in the moment with what's going on more to help turn off that triggering constantly of fight or flight, to get our body to go back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest and recuperation, regeneration, and creativity. That's where we're supposed to be most of the time. When a threat happens, when a danger happens, we are supposed to resolve it. It's a very high output of energy, cortisol, adrenaline, all our energy gets pushed out to our muscles and limbs to deal with a threat. And that's a lot of energy that it takes to do that. So then when the threat's resolved, we come back into homeostasis, and our body rejuvenates, repairs, and gets back to being able to digest food and to rest and basically rebuild and recuperate from that high output of energy. But if we're never getting in there enough in the homeostasis state, we get drained more and more, and our subconscious is looking for the threat more and more and more, but it's internal. So the more we can practice connecting with our breathing, connecting in the moment, being with what we feel, find a place in nature, find a place safe place at home where you can sit every day, practice bringing your attention back. Oh, I'm no good at this, I can't focus for a moment, I can't meditate. That's just a belief. Just practice coming back more and more, and every time you come back, you're going to lose your attention. You're going to get drifted off who knows where. Keep noticing, coming back. Keep practicing coming back. Find things that help you. Maybe you like sitting in front of a fire looking at the flames. Practice sitting, watching that. Go to a lake and watch the ducks or the birds, or practice going somewhere and just coming back to your breathing, or be at home where you feel safe. Make sure it's somewhere you feel safe, because you're creating the association of safety, telling your subconscious it's safe, which will help turn off fight or flight and resume homeostasis. But practice coming back to your breathing, your body sensations. You get pulled away, practice coming back. You start building the habit in time of every time you get distracted, you start coming back. Tell yourself, it's safe. Look around, okay, everything's safe. Keep confirming your subconscious mind that it's safe. So that'll help from many different ways to tell your subconscious it's safe, to help turn off that fight or flight. And every time you say it's safe and you breathe and you're calm and you feel in a safe place, go into that feeling and start to get to know the feeling of breathing slow and relaxed and you're safe. And when you're back into your breathing, notice the feeling of just being present. Practice that. The more you practice coming back, 100 times you get pulled away. That's 100 times you get to practice coming back. So out in life, when you notice, I just get distracted, I can't remember things, my attention's everywhere, you're able then to notice more quickly and come back and start to build presence with the moment and start to resolve that unresolved past stuck emotions to help you just be more present with feeling life in the moment. And that'll help you to be with what you feel and process your emotions. This is really important. I think I'd like to do this in the next video about processing our emotions that have been stockpiled, all the unresolved past emotions and feelings, of how we can do that and how that'll allow our body to relax by accepting what we feel. Okay, so my name is Arne Pedersen from Hypnotherapy Victoria, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in video number 3 in just a little bit.